And she had the nerve to tell me that my desire to make good money was a bad thing. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to cover 6 lies that my MSW program definitely tried to tell me. So let's get into it. So that was the first lie. I had several professors tell me that my desire to want to make good money was a bad thing. Like, I get it. We work with vulnerable populations, but we have bills to pay. There are things to take care of. There are people in my family I need to take care of. And for the amount of money that we pay for the degree, to be told the desire to make that back, to be able to pay back that money and not be in debt for the rest of my life is, yeah, no. Now, not only did she tell me, or not just her, but several other professors tell me that my desire to make money was bad, they also told me you're not going to make any money being a social worker. Like, you're going to make no money whatsoever. I was like, what? What is going on here? Now, one time I went out on an interview and the organization had audacity to offer me $31,000. I made 36 with a high school diploma when I left to go back to school. And so there was no way I was doing that. That's what prompted me to create the 7-figure social worker movement. Not just because you want to be out here buying red bottoms or anything like that, or designer bags. I mean, don't get me wrong, reward yourself for hard work and buy what you want to buy. But I feel like these agencies pay so low because they have no money. And if there's social workers out there who can be philanthropic and give back to our profession, that's a huge thing. And that's a huge impact on people and populations. And so the 7-figure social worker, because money makes the world go round. You need money for programs, right? You need money for good professionals to work for you, because who has an advanced degree and is making $31,000? That is a person who has other income in the home. But if you are the sole person responsible, or if you have things that you want to be ensure that you're available for, what if your parents get sick? What if your children get sick? What if you need to take time off, right? You need to have some money to be able to do that. And to tell people they're not going to make any after paying $30,000+ a year is crazy and a straight up lie. Number 3, the third lie they told me, is that you have to be clinical. Well, they didn't say it that way, but they basically said if you're not clinical, you're not going to make any real money and no one's going to take you seriously, which, so I'll say this, the macro social workers in school, there were only a few of us and we were totally not respected. Not respected. But listen here, I'm here to tell you, there is a huge world outside of clinical. Don't get me wrong, do clinical work. We need clinical social workers. But there are other ways that you can make money as a social worker without only focusing on clinical work. You have other talents, other skills, other knowledge, other areas of expertise that you can either fuse with your social work degree and knowledge, or maybe not. Maybe it's just a side hustle. But to say that the only thing you can be is clinical is simply not true, and that is not the only way that you can be an entrepreneur as a social worker. They said that only vulnerable populations are the people that we serve. And while I agree, they are the primary people that we serve, but they are not the only people that we can serve. You know, I remember just having an epiphany moment when I was talking with someone who I would consider well-to-do. And we were talking about social work, and they were like, we need those skills in areas of the executive level. People who are earning 7-8 figures a year also need services from social workers. Our skill set is expandable and it can be generalized, right? When I say The same skills that you use to work with your clients who are experiencing substance use disorder, the same skills that you go into working with clients to help them realize maladaptive behaviors, is the same set of skills that you can use with executives to help them break through their own barriers at a much higher level, at a different financial touch point than our vulnerable populations. But they do need us. They do need us. And there is a way to leverage that so you are not as burnt out when you're working with your vulnerable population. Now, did your social work program tell you any of these lies or any different lies? Maybe we don't want to call them lies. You know, everybody is so sensitive about language these days, and I get it, but it felt like lies. It definitely felt like lies, but maybe we'll just say that they were speaking their own truth. I don't think so though, because some of the people who told me this have like books and things that they do. Speaking of, write the book on your profession. No one is out here dogging Brene Brown for pulling down the big bucks. She is serving us though, right? So she's not doing something frivolous. We all gained value from what she provided through her skills, knowledge, talents, and areas of expertise. And you as a social worker can absolutely do the same. The fifth lie that they definitely said, some of you may not think this is a lie, but I'll explain. They told me that self-care was only relaxation and pampering. Now, some of you guys might feel like this is not a lie, and it's not a complete untruth. That's what we'll call them. We'll call them untruths. It's not a complete untruth. Yo, the sun was popping. But what it is a limitation. Because of this. Yes, while self-care is relaxation and pampering, if you relax and pamper yourself, but you get up every Monday and go to a job that you absolutely hate or that is burning you out, then sometimes self-care is getting to the bag so you can leave that situation. So they're not giving you the full scope of what self-care can be. That's why one of the first things I have my clients do is write a self-care action plan before they become an entrepreneur, because you have to figure out what is self-care in that season you're in. Yes, are you in a season of relaxation and pampering? Maybe, but sometimes you might be in a season of hustle and grind. And anyone out here telling you that hustle and grind is not the way that you have to do some things, it's not always the way. You don't have to be that way 24/7, but there are periods of hustle and grind. And if you are working and you're trying to transition into being an entrepreneur so you can own your own 24 hours, then there is a hustle portion of your life coming up. And so that can be self-care, because you know in 5 years you could be living a very different life. And then number 6, one of the last lies that they said when I would talk about, you know, social workers just being out here doing different things, thinking outside of the box, and how we can help, how we can serve people, and in the process make a lucrative income for ourselves, since nobody clearly wants to pay us well, and a lot of us have student debt and a whole bunch of other things going on, right? One of the other things that they told me was that nobody was going to want to listen to what I have to say about the 7-figure social worker movement. Nobody was going to want to hear about social workers starting digital businesses. And I'm like, but it's a bunch of people out here with digital businesses. And it's very interesting, because when I talk to people who are licensed mental health counselors by profession, or psychologists, or you know, someone other than social workers who deals in behavioral health, a lot of them are aware of the ways that they can make semi-passive and passive income with digital products. When I talk to my social workers, they're like, "What are you talking about? Oh, that sounds disgusting." What? Oh, what? So that was what a lot of people told me back then. And I just recently talked about this in a video called The Naysayers. You can check it out. I have a link to it in the description box, but it's that video that's going to pop up in one of these corners. I can never tell which one. But yes, they told me that. And so it was a definite lie, because I've had people reach out and tell me, thank you for this message, and thank y'all for reaching out. So when you go through and you think about these things, think about the ways that your MSW program lied to you. And if you are about to start an MSW program, if you're currently in an MSW program, watch the way some of these people talk to you. Watch the narrative that they give you, because it is their worldview, right? We've learned about worldviews. It is their worldview, but you can have a different worldview. You can have an alternative worldview to that traditional worldview narrative that a lot of these MSW programs are trying to sell you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the program. I'm pretty sure it was the narrative given to them. So thank you for joining me for this video. And until next time, this is your girl Michelle saying, stop waiting. The time is now. Start a digital online business. Bye for now.